Hey guys, as always, a big good to each of y'all. Thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate that. I don't know what I'm doing over here. Thanks for stopping by. Y'all rock and I appreciate it. Every time you're here, I am thankful. So thank you. What do they actually do? There's a lot of gun rights organizations and there's a continuum. Some rock and some are pretty bad. They all have got a bunch of letters in their names. All of them are always fundraising, but what do they actually do? I want to talk to you a little bit about that. And then I've got a brief homework assignment for you. Take about 90 seconds. It's really quick and easy. It's one click, and I think it'll be easy for you. I know it's easy, but it's going to be really helpful. I came away encouraged, and I think it'll take you just a minute, but you'll like this one. It's going to be super easy. Buckle up, here we go. Hey, today's episode is brought to you by my friends over at TacPack. It's the monthly subscription box for 2A and survival enthusiasts. All right, good news. I told y'all this the other day, but the January box is gonna rock. R-O-C-K, rock. But you've got to get your orders in this week while it's still December. Use code JohnnyB to get a free grab bag with your first order. Lots of stuff's going to come in this year. Parts and tools and knives, survival gear, a lot of stuff straight to your door. The link is down below. Coupon code is down there as well. Got to get that in while it is still December. Also to you people, thank you for every thumbs up, y'all. I said a minute ago, y'all rock, but y'all are amazing. I do appreciate that. Thank you for crushing that. It's a help. It's a help. It's a help. All right, two things. We're going to talk about your homework assignment and then what they actually do. Yesterday's conversation, I say this sometimes, but yesterday's conversation was really good. I was talking about your main tools and does it matter who manufactures them and the beliefs behind the company and what they believe, or do you just want it to work and to work well? Some people said both. I don't know why I'm doing this, but some people said both. But the conversation was super interesting, and I think if you want to, this isn't your homework assignment, but if you want to flip through and read 30, 40 comments, you're going to see some stuff in there that's interesting, kind of an overview of where our 2A culture is at right now. Thank you for that conversation. All right, secondly, this has nothing to do with the main talk today, but I thought it was interesting. AmmoLand just released a poll that they didn't do it, but they were talking about it. It was a poll on Hispanic voters and do they care about their Second Amendment rights? I don't like assumptions, and we have a lot of assumptions out there. The DNC assumes one thing about voters, the GOP assumes something else. Well, it turns out the Hispanic swing voters, yeah, they care a lot about their 2A rights. The things that they're currently thinking about as a whole, this demographic is crime, criminal violence, and personal safety. Yeah, I think in 2021, headed into 22, most people are thinking about their families and safety. It is one of the top concerns. I believe this one was right behind the concerns overall for the culture. But I thought it was interesting. So Hispanic voters, yeah, shocking. Years ago, I heard an announcer one time said, so if this is true, okay, so what? Like, it doesn't mean anything. And with this one, when I got to the end of that article, I was like, okay, yeah, they do. I think the DNC will still pander to them with impunity. We had Beto O'Rourke pretend to be Hispanic. We had Jill Biden saying that some wham, 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 and just butchered it. We had Sniffy Joe playing I don't even know the song, but it was a song that was in the Spanish language and played it for the voters and just sat and smiled at them. Hey, vote for me. I can press play on iTunes. I think with this data, okay, so what? They'll still get pandered to by the left. All right, let's talk about this. What do they actually do? There's a lot of rights, 2A rights organizations out there. Right before I hit play on this thing, I got a text in from the media person, the person that I interact with at FPC. Got a good relationship there. Y'all know what we went through this fall with the GOA and how they reached out to me, and I got to strengthen my relationships. They're great conversations. Y'all know the flaming dumpster fire that the NRA is. So there's a lot of them. They all, as a whole, have a relatively similar goal: protect our Second Amendment rights and hopefully repeal some of the rights that have been stolen from us, hopefully. All of them are fundraising at all times. It's super expensive. Lawyers are expensive, and part of this sphere that I'm making up here is very expensive. But what do they actually do? Now, this is alleged. I don't know this. Allegedly, that the NAGR has had some pretty significant accusations thrown at them recently that they fundraise, they do millions and millions and millions a year, and they literally do nothing. Like they literally do nothing. I don't know. That's alleged. That's not me. So for a legal standpoint, that's all alleged. I don't know nothing about nothing. We do know this, that the NRA, again, is a dumpster fire. The NRA ILA, their Institute for Legislative Action, does some pretty good stuff. They get a single thumbs up from me, but that's just one little small box in the NRA. The FBC, I've got a good relationship. Today, I've got a good one for you, and I thought this was pretty good. The GOA has released a kind of an overview, a really easy to read overview of what they actually did in 21. Pow! This is really good, y'all. Just for them, for an organization to say, okay, here's a really easy to read thing. And how did I find it? I was just on their website digging around. Nobody told me to share this with y'all. I found it. All right, 4 that I pulled out of here. Remember the Chip Roy, the red flag thing? Yeah, they helped. The GOA helped with that, finding that red flag bill that was in that overall bill that you had to pass. You got to get it through. They found it and helped fight it. They helped in that universal background nonsense that went on. They also helped, and specifically going after GOP members. I appreciate that big time, going after, anytime you go after the rhinos, because there's a bunch of frauds out there. And then one thing that I like that you may see in that article is they mention IV88 Eric, and say whatever you want. Eric's a friend of mine, but you know, he's a good dude, and he does a lot of good for a lot of people. But they mention him, and they mention new media and what we're trying to do here within new media, Instagram and Rumble and YouTube. And I thought that was really refreshing that this organization, in a time when the NRA is still producing a magazine and selling Bond arms, selling those little tiny guns to boomers, to see the GOA embracing new media. Yeah, that's self-serving because that helps me, but then also I just think that's where the 2A culture's at. Homework assignment, the link is below. I'm gonna challenge you. You don't have to read the whole thing. It's a long article, but if you scroll through, it'll take you a minute and a half. Just read the headlines for each one. Pick 1 or 2 that get your attention and maybe read those paragraphs, but just read all the headlines, and I think you'll come away nodding your head. And so I think it's good. I'm a proud member of the GOA, and so to see what do they actually do, all right, finally, we got it. Something that they actually do, like in black and white, it's all typed out there. What did they do in the last year with all that cash? So for me, I give it a round thing and 3 fingers up. I think it's fantastic. I've got nothing, but a bunch of y'all have asked me to say it again, and I say this proudly. Surrounded by a steaming pile of hot brass. Yep, from my cold, dead hands. Bye.